everyone, I'm Emma,
And I'm Ryan. Welcome to Voice of English.
where learning feels natural.
And every voice matters.
You know, I've always believed that the way someone speaks tells a story long before their words do. Not their vocabulary, not their accent, not even their grammar, but the energy behind their words, the silence between their sentences, the certainty in their tone. And recently, I met someone who reminded me of this truth in a very unexpected way. Hey, it's Emma, and welcome back to Voice of English. Ryan is actually working on something exciting for next week's episode, so today it's just you and me. A quiet moment. A conversation we can take slowly, a chance to dive deeper than usual. And today, I want to talk to you about something I've never shared before. Something I learned about how billionaires speak and how it changed the way I communicate in English forever. So let me start with a question. Have you ever noticed that the richest, most influential people in the world don't speak quickly? They don't try to sound impressive, and they don't rush to fill silence. It's almost like they treat words as valuable currency. And the first time I saw this up close, it completely changed the way I think about English. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was invited to a private meeting. Nothing fancy, really. It was a small roundtable discussion in a quiet, sunlit hotel room overlooking the city. There were maybe 10 of us and one extremely successful entrepreneur. A man whose net worth had more zeros than I could count at the time. Everyone expected him to arrive with an entourage, wearing a suit, maybe speaking loudly, confidently. But he walked in softly, alone. No hurry, no noise. He sat down, folded his hands on the table, and smiled. Not a big smile, not a look-at-me smile. A small, patient, almost quiet smile. People waited for him to speak. And he didn't rush. He looked around the room slowly, as if listening before speaking, as if giving attention before asking for it. And when he finally talked, his voice was calm, measured, intentional. He didn't use big words. He didn't try to impress us. And yet, everyone was paying attention. I later realized something powerful that day. He didn't speak to prove anything. He spoke to understand. And to be understood, that alone made him sound powerful. And that moment changed something in me. Because I realized that speaking like a billionaire has nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with status. It has everything to do with mindset. And today, I want to share with you the 3 biggest speaking habits that billionaires use, habits you can apply instantly, no matter your level of English. Let's go deeper. The first habit I learned is, they slow down, not because they're unsure, but because they're certain. When that entrepreneur spoke, he left space between his thoughts. Not awkward space, purposeful space. Silence, to him, wasn't empty. It was clarity, a moment for the listener to think, a moment for himself to breathe. When he said, I like to make decisions slowly, he didn't rush through it. He allowed the message to land. And I remember thinking, most English learners do the opposite. We rush. We try to hide our mistakes. We try to keep talking so nobody notices our grammar errors or pronunciation slips. But speed doesn't equal confidence. Speed equals insecurity. Confidence sounds like calmness. Billionaires don't hurry their sentences. They aren't afraid of silence. So if you want to sound more confident in English, start slowing down. Not robot slow, just human slow, present slow. Let your words breathe. The second lesson, and this one surprised me, they don't over-explain. Most people use too many words. They explain their ideas 3, 4, 5 different ways. They repeat themselves to feel safe. They talk and talk, hoping the listener understands. But billionaires do the opposite. They choose their words the way an artist chooses colors. Not too much, not too little. Just enough. In that meeting, the entrepreneur spoke maybe 5 sentences in 20 minutes. But every sentence had weight. Not because it was poetic, but because it was clear. He said things like, I don't know yet. Let me think about that. That's not a priority. What's the real problem here? Simple English. Direct English. Intentional English. No fluff. No decoration. Just clarity. And what struck me was that this level of clarity didn't come from the language itself. It came from how he thought. He wasn't thinking about impressing people. He was thinking about solving problems. And that energy came through his words. That's when I realized something that changed my teaching forever. Your English becomes clearer when your mind becomes calmer. You don't need fancy vocabulary. You need focused thoughts. You don't need long explanations. You need clarity. You don't need to sound smart. You need to sound sure. And the third lesson, the deepest one, the one that changed me the most. They speak from choice, not fear. This part is subtle, but it's everything. Most people speak to avoid something. Avoid awkwardness. Avoid silence. Avoid judgment. But the most powerful communicators speak because they have something to say. Not because they're trying to avoid something. Their communication is intentional, not defensive. When that entrepreneur spoke, I noticed he didn't say, or sorry, or I hope this makes sense. He didn't talk with disclaimers. He didn't soften every sentence. He didn't apologize for existing. He spoke from a place of grounded confidence. And that confidence wasn't loud. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't dominant. It was calm, rooted, warm. Confidence doesn't sound like force. Confidence sounds like ease. And that is what I want for you. But here's something important and very human. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly speak like a billionaire. It's not a style. It's not a technique. It's not a performance. It's a reflection of how you see yourself. Because the truth is, your voice carries your beliefs. Your words carry your identity. Your tone carries your story. So if you want to speak with the calm confidence of a billionaire, you first have to believe that your voice matters. Let me ask you something. When you speak English, do you speak from fear? Or from choice? Do you speak quickly to hide mistakes? Or do you take your time? Do you explain too much to avoid misunderstanding? Or do you trust your words? Think about this for a moment. Really think. Because this question is the beginning of transformation. Now, let me give you something more practical. Let's translate these 3 billionaire habits into English habits you can use starting today. Habit 1. Speak slower. Not dramatically, naturally. When you slow down, your pronunciation improves instantly. Your brain has more processing time. Your listener respects you more. And your ideas land with more power. Habit 2. Use fewer, clearer words. Instead of long explanations, try phrases like, "Here's the main point. What I mean is," "Let me keep it simple." These simple structures make you sound decisive, not complicated. Habit 3. Speak from intention. Before you talk, pause for half a second. Ask yourself, what am I trying to say? Not, what if I make a mistake? But what is the message? This tiny mental shift changes everything. And now a personal moment between you and me. Sometimes, when I'm editing episodes with Ryan, he laughs and says, "Emma, you speak like you're writing in the air." And I always smile because maybe I am. Maybe we all are. Every time we speak, we write our identity into the world. Every sentence is a small brushstroke. Every conversation is a chapter. Every pause is punctuation. And when you start speaking with intention, with clarity, with calmness, your story changes, your English changes, your confidence changes, your entire presence changes. And listen, you don't need money to speak like a billionaire. You don't need success. You don't need status. You just need awareness. Awareness of how you show up. Awareness of your voice. Awareness of your thoughts. Because language is not just communication. It's a mirror. It reflects who you are, who you believe you are, and who you are becoming. So let me ask you, and I truly want you to answer this in the comments. Which of the 3 habits do you want to practice first? Slowing down, speaking clearly, or speaking with intention? I'd love to read your thoughts. And before we wrap up, let me leave you with this final reflection. You don't have to be a billionaire to speak like one. You just need to value your words the way they do. Speak slower, because your ideas deserve time. Speak clearly, because your message deserves clarity. Speak intentionally, because your voice deserves to be heard. You're not learning English to sound perfect. You're learning English to express your mind, your thoughts, your wisdom, your life. And here on Voice of English, that's exactly what we want for you. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for listening so openly. And thank you for giving your voice the space it deserves. I can't wait for you to join the next episode. Ryan will be back, and we have something meaningful planned. Until then, speak with calmness, Speak with purpose. Speak with confidence. This is Emma, and this is Voice of English. I'll see you soon.